Hello and welcome again to another graphic designing course. Today will be designing a flyer like this, and again we are designing everything from, or we are arranging everything from scratch. We are not using any templates, or we are not customizing any templates. So we are just designing everything from scratch. So you come to your home and then you click on flyer, and then we'll be working with the empty workspace. We are not inserting any templates whatsoever. We are starting, or we are doing everything from scratch. So let me just come here. I would want to work with this, and again my name remains Bernard. So now let's start. So we are designing something like this, and then first things first, I would want us to insert our background, which when we come, we'll just come to elements, and then we type blue background. So when you type blue background, you just come to the photos, all photos, and you can insert any background you'd want, whichever background you think you're okay with. Whichever background you think you're okay with, you can insert. But I'd want us to insert this particular. I think I would have to scroll down a little, but let me just use, since I've already used it, let me just, so this very one, you just come to graphs, and again there are different backgrounds, but I would want us to use, I can't seem to find, okay, let's use the ones that are available. So let's just click on this, and let me rotate to 90 degrees. 90 degrees is a straight. Okay, now there's 90, and then position, and then just let it fill. So I think I'm okay with this. This is not the actual background I use, but let's just use this. Let's just use it. Now I am in Ghana, so I decided to use cities in Ghana for this. So it's actually a flyer. This flyer is not for anybody. This from our previous tutorial. You can see this logo from our previous tutorial, which is actually a continuation from our previous training, and this is still for a CCTV, but it's also not for any particular company. So I used cities in Ghana because I live in Ghana. So let's insert those things. So we come to text, and then we insert a text box. So we type Accra, so let me zoom in, and then let me position this here. Now there's a divider. There's this divider. There's this divider here. So I come to elements. Let me still see if I can find find the background I used. For some reason I can't find it. I think this is similar. This is a little too deep for me. Let me just insert this. Like this. So now let's go back to this place and then insert this line. So it is horizontal. I want it vertical, so I just rotate it vertically, and then vertical needs to be 90, so it's already 90, and then I just resize, bring it over. So to also be able to arrange it all, let me just place it here and then finish with the cities. So Accra, alignment, Accra, Kumasi, so Kumasi. These are cities in Ghana because I live in Ghana, so I decided to use cities in Ghana. So Kumasi. I think it's aligned. It's aligned. Takoradi. Takoradi. I hope my spellings are correct. Yes, so they are aligned. You see the space in between Accra, the last letter of Accra, which is A, and then the first letter of Kumasi, which is K, is the same space between the last letter of Kumasi, which is I, and then the first letter of Takoradi, which is T. So they are arranged, or the spaces between the arrangement is equal at the same time. They are aligned. So now I duplicate and then align again, and you see it gives me the suggestion again. So I leave it and then Koforidia. Koforidia. And then I make sure, since I typed, I will make sure, yes, it is. Now there's an issue. So I have to create space for the last one. So let me create, yes. And the last one is Sunyani. So, and yes, they are. So let me select the whole thing and then make sure they are all, yes, now they are all centered. So now let me come back to this, change the color to gold. I like this. Sorry, this is actually peach, but sometimes I refer to it as gold. So let me zoom in. You know, I'm not getting the right position, so I have to zoom in. And now I can get, since I zoomed in, I can get the right, yes, now this is right for me. I duplicate, and you see still alignment is happening. So I'm okay. Now let's do this. We'll insert this is also an element I inserted, so we'll insert this element, and also we'll do this. So we'll come to element, still in element, come to element, and then we go to graphs. And when you get to graphs, you come to circle. So now you see a lot of circle graphs. So scroll down, and again you can play with everything that is here, but I inserted this very one. So click, and then the default, there's a default color. That's not what I want. I want yellow. And then I resize, position, and duplicate, and then drag to wherever I want. And I think it looks okay for me. So come to element, and then search for strip. So a lot of strips will come. This is the very one I used. You know, I'm not using Canva Pro, so this means this is for sale, this is also for sale, but this is free. So this is what I used. So I rotate it to the angle I want and resize it. Now there's a chance I may resize it again. So, and now this is too thin because this was a little thick, but this thin. So just duplicate it. And now I do my writing. This, don't get caught. The whole idea is we are trying to market CCTV product, so it's trying to say don't get caught off guard. You know, we have huge discounts available. Get 20% off all cameras. That's the whole concept of this flyer. But again, our target is actually for the designing and not the current write-up or content. So I insert a text. Insert a text, and then I paste the write-up I copied, and yes, we are out. So just reduce it, and then it's white. So if I just have to select, no, this is actually blue. So let me select this blue, and we're on course. You realize I highlighted the things I want to move, or the group of elements I want to move, so I can decide to group them so that I can move them about without having to select the whole. This actually has 3 different elements, which is the first strip, and because it was thin, we duplicated it, and then it became 2 strips plus the text box. So I've selected all 3 and then made them 1, so I can rotate all of them at once or do whatever changes I want, increase them all at once or anything. So now we do this. So this, I inserted an element. Let's cancel this. I inserted this straight edge element or this sharp edge element. So came up and then resize it to something like this. And again, I said this is a combination of 2, which is a combination of text box and then an element that can be resized. But I don't like using the text box of this element. I just want to use the square or the triangle nature of it. I can change it to square or triangle or any other thing I want. So that's what I want, but I am not interested in the text. So I just click outside and then come and click again, and then it responds as an element. So I change the color to white, and then it is in front of this. So I just either I take this back or I bring this forward. So let me bring this forward, position to front. Now we are on course, but this is slightly tilted. So let me slightly tilt it like that and duplicate, and then this one is also tilted. So that's too much, a little too much. I think that's okay. So, and again, you have to be careful with alignment. So it says what? Huge discount. So this is what I used. Again, come to textbook. I use this. So I didn't use it, so let me just delete the down one and then use the top one. So I think I have to resize this to make sure this is huge enough, and then tilt it just a little. Yes. So let me change this color to a color that blends with the background. Yes, this blends with the background. And then bring this up, duplicate this, and then tilt it back. And then huge discount. So let me just copy the write up, not the text box, the text itself, paste, and then resize the text box. So meaning I have to resize this element. Sorry, I'm recording. It's 3 a.m. here, and I'm recording. That's why you can hear birds all over. So sorry about that. So let me position this. Okay, I think let me rather reduce the font to 490 and then reduce this also to 90. So I would not have to do any further positioning. Okay, so I think we are okay. Let me bring this whole thing. I'm not sure of the alignment. I think that's okay. So yeah, now we come down to this where it says get 20% off every camera plus installation, terms and conditions applied. So we insert a text box and then just write get, and then position it. So we just change the font color to white. No, I didn't select. Let me select and change to white. Now there are two ways to get this underline. Either I do it here at the underline, or I insert a line as I did with this. So I just come to elements and then insert this line and then maybe reposition or resize, which can give me a lot of trouble. So maybe I don't want to go through that trouble. So let me just maintain the actual underline from the text, from the text editor, the place you can edit here, which is the underline U. So positioning, yes, you realize, yes, so vertically and horizontally I'm aligned. So now, no, so let me get off, get, yes, it's supposed to be get off, yes, off. So now the 20%, I can duplicate this and then bring it down, maybe straighten it 0, change the color to peach, and then just write 20%. 20% off. So let me be sure of positioning. I think I'm okay with this. Yes. And then 20% of every camera. So let me insert a text box and then position it. Oh, I did something wrong. Select and then position and then paste what I did. But you realize that here they are all uppercase, but here they are all lowercase. And seriously, I hate typing. I would not want to delete this whole thing. So you just come here, uppercase, and then it just goes to uppercase for you. Let me be sure of the font size. This is 12, so I just change all this to 12 and then change the whole color. Forgive me if any of my spellings are wrong. Then change the color to white. Yeah, looking good. Bring this closer a little. So yeah, we're good. So insert again, you go to graphs, you go to rectangle, and you find all the rectangle elements or rectangle shapes and insert this particular one, and you see it even inserts directly where I want it. So just reduce transparency just a little bit so that the terms and conditions can be visible. So it creates some kind of blurry effect at the background. I think, let me be sure if it's at the back. Okay, so now it's at the back. I can select this and select this. So now I insert my cameras. So these cameras are inserted in individually. So I come to elements and then type camera. Yes, CCTV. No, I should have typed CCTV camera. No, I should have typed CCTV. Yeah. Yes, this is what I wanted. And this is for sale. This is a pro, but I used it anyways. So this is how I did it. I insert, and then I think this is not what I used. But let's just maintain this. So make sure it's centered. And then I use this. So this one needs to go to the back. And then duplicate and then just flip it. And then position it. Yes. Let's come back a little. And then also take it to the back. Now I group them. Since now they are one, I would want to work on them as a group. So duplicate it and then rotate, turn it upside down, completely upside down. I think it should be 180. Yeah, take it, position it to the back and then reduce transparency. It creates some kind of a shadow for it, and there's a trick you can also use to create a shadow for yourself. So now let's insert this. So we are still at elements. We are still at graphs, elements, and then graphs. and then we scroll to arrows. No, I've gone too far. It should be yes, there's arrows. This is what I used. So position, and I used white, transparency. So sorry for the birds. Again, like I said, it's around 3 a.m. so it's normal to hear the birds sing to inform us that it's another day to go out and then hustle. So I can orient it anyhow I want, in no particular order. And then this blinks, just they actually stars though. So just come to element again, and then the graphs, the same graphs, and then you just look for star. Yes, there's star. And then I think, yes, this is what I used. So you also change it to white, and you resize. I selected the wrong thing. Select, drag, change the opacity, duplicate. So now we just come and type this information, which is not for anybody. There's just something I just designed for training purposes. So remember the logo we did in the previous tutorial. So it's just here. So I come and group it. Let me just group it. So now I can copy and then position everything back, and then come and paste. So I paste it here as my logo. Okay, so now I come to elements, and then insert this that has a more rounder edge. And then take out the inside and give it a border. Now the border, I think, no. Okay, there's a border color. So let me be sure of the color. Okay, I use white. Now I don't want it to go to the back because it's on top. I don't want it on top. I want it to go to the back. So you just position to back, and then you see the logo. The whole logo comes on top of it. That's how I want it. So just put all this information. This information is from the previous flyer we did. It's from the previous flyer we did. And again, like I said, it's just some information. It's nothing. So let me just move the whole. If I try to select the whole thing, it will select with the background. Okay, it's not selecting the background. So let me just move the whole thing. Copy. And then let me just delete this. And then paste this. Yeah. So position it. Again, this had come in front, so I just select it and then take it to the back. I think it looks good. And then I just copy this information. And we finished designing a beautiful flyer for a CCTV company that is offering a discount on all their cameras. And this is a beautiful flyer. I believe this is a very beautiful flyer. Again, practicing, trying a lot of things, figuring things out. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. And yeah, this looks good. So again, thank you for joining me on another episode of graphic designing using Canva. And yes, let's keep practicing, let's keep making mistakes, and then let's keep learning from our mistakes, because that's the only way we can learn. So thank you for joining me, and then have a wonderful day.